Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about cropping in Photoshop. And you can always crop in Photoshop if you don't in Lightroom. One reason that you might do that is because in here, like we've combined two photos, and the skyline is a little crooked, but if I had cropped in Lightroom and not lined them up exactly, which might be challenging, then it would make it a lot harder to do the combo and have it be clean and convincing. So the crop tool is the C key, and you want to make sure you're on this one, crop tool, and you're not on perspective crop tool. Okay, the one thing that people often make a mistake with the crop tool in Photoshop is that they don't enter the resolution along with the width and height. So this menu here, okay, right here, you want to click in there and you want to choose the option that says width W times height H times resolution. If you do one of the others, it's just a proportion. It's not in actual inches and it won't be tied to a resolution, so your sizing won't come out correctly. Okay, then you need to enter these three cells. The width is here, the height, and the resolution. Okay, so let's say that I wanted this photo to be an 8 by 10. I'm just choosing a random size. So in the first cell, I'm going to enter 10. And it usually when you hit enter will do an IN, but if you notice it says CM because the last person was doing centimeters, you can type 10 IN just to make sure. Okay, and then in the next cell I'll type 8. In the third cell in our class we are always doing 300 for the resolution, and you want to make sure it says pixels per inch, not centimeter. You can always clear the cells out, okay, by clicking on that. You can also switch the values. And it will give you a preview of what you're seeing. So if you don't like that proportion, like let's say I don't really like the 8 by 10, I can still change it before I apply the crop. So I'll do 8 by 12 instead. Okay, if you need the straighten tool, then you can use that, and you can use this. You can see my skyline's a little bit crooked. So I can draw a line to make it a little bit straighter. I can do it manually as well, which I'll show you in a second. And that was this button here, straighten, and then I drew a line on what I want it to straighten to, similar to Lightroom. You can also change it. So this box right here, I'm currently seeing the rule of thirds. If you'd prefer to have it on a grid or one of the other options, you can. This could maybe help you. It can get confusing, but it could maybe help you if you're trying to straighten it out as well. So I'm going to go back to rule of thirds. And then you have these other options too with your preview, so you can change these if you want. You can use classic mode, which we probably don't want to do, show cropped area, auto center preview, etc. Okay, it's up to you whether you're going to delete the cropped pixels. Even if you don't delete the cropped pixels, they're going to delete after you save it, so just FYI. And then content aware, if you want to turn it on, you can. It'll help you figure out, what's in the photo. That's what content means, and it's aware of the content. Okay, so next thing, if you want to drag in the crop to make it smaller, which I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out some of the sides a little bit. You can do that. You just want to make sure you do not drag past the photo. If you do that, it's going to add strips of whatever your background color is selected here, and that becomes part of the photo. So you definitely don't want that. If you want to turn the image manually, you can go outside the crop you've chosen and you can turn it so that it's straighter. Okay. Finally, when you're satisfied with it, and I need to move mine up a little bit because I was getting some red there. When you're satisfied with it, you can use these up here. You can cancel out or invert the crop or apply it. So I'm going to hit check, and it's going to be cropped. You'll see the size will change. One last way you can check, and you can also do this at the beginning. You can go to image, image size, and you can always select inches here and pixels here and see what the actual size is. This is actual measurements of the size. If this is wrong, recrop it with the crop tool. Don't change it inside this window.